Welcome, friends, to another edition of Unlocked. It's the world's #1 Xbox show for January 10th already. We're a third into the first month of the year.
Oh, God. That's 1/36th through the year.
We're getting there. We got plenty to talk about Xbox-wise. We've got some new game rumors floating around, so we'll talk about all of those. They involve Perfect Dark. They involve the Coalition. They involve Fable. So we'll see if anybody on the panel is buying any of that. Plus, a new Xbox achievement system is on the way. We've got some potential details there. New Xbox One dashboard update. It has bringing along some new features as well. Some news from GTA Online, as well as the vanishing of Ethan Carter on the way to Xbox as well. So I'm Ryan McCaffrey. Welcome back to Destin Legary.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Oh, wow.
Very jet lagged.
That was very NPR.
So studious. Alana Pierce.
Hey,
Hi.
what's up?
Marty Sleva.
Hey, everyone.
So sleep.
Hi.
Why'd you say that name?
So, Destin, you were halfway around the world for a while.
Yeah, it's like tomorrow in the time zone that my body's in right now or something. But yeah, I was in China and I went to the Philippines.
That's cool. Did you have a good time?
Yeah,
The
it was
pictures were
nice.
great. I saw a lot of smiles, a lot of
yeah.
trolling Fran Mirabella.
I got very sunburned in the Philippines.
You still need sunscreen in other countries.
I
Destin.
put it on. It didn't help. I am too pale, pale skinned. Yeah. But I had a great time. It was awesome. Snorkeling there
Nice.
and just seeing like clams that are the size of a basketball. Or
That
larger.
sounds horrifying. I don't want to see
Those
any of that.
were,
I'm not a fan
they
of
were
that.
next to the
Not
nuclear
scary at
waste.
all.
I don't want to see any of
Everything murders you in Australia, you know.
I'm alive, so clearly I don't know.
You know that time you died in
Yeah,
Australia?
it never happened.
Everything's scary. The kangaroos punch you.
They're just don't.
Are you thinking
Actually,
of the
fun
Tekken
kangaroo
character?
story. So I mentioned this last week that I went to a small town where my family lives for the holiday, and they were talking about how if your car crashes into a kangaroo, and we have like those kangaroo signs like there are deer signs here,
Yeah.
very often because they're so strong, they will go through the windshield and then just be inside the car, and then it's just like this giant hulk of muscle. They call the big ones big reds, and usually they're still alive, so they will be in the car just tearing everyone up. So
That's like
apparently,
Black Sheep with
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Farley.
what?
There's a Chris
happened,
Farley movie
yeah.
where that happens.
A deer right out.
Well, apparently the idea is that like if it gets into the car, it will completely tear you to shreds. So if you hit a kangaroo, you then also have to get out of the car immediately and try and wait for it to leave before you can drive the
I
car.
mean, legally, the
Wow.
kangaroo then owns the car. It belongs to the kangaroo.
Damn
Like
it.
squatters, right?
It's for slips.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
slips,
beautiful.
It's all done.
That was a terrifying story. I don't like that story at all.
Well, I've never heard of it happening to anyone.
Like
Like
an
I
urban
guess
legend?
that was a thing that happened. No, it happened to a friend of mine, which is effectively an urban legend. But I've never hit a kangaroo.
I'm sure Logan Paul will be flying there to go try that
Film
out.
it. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
How did you brought him up on a video? If you say
sorry.
it 2 more times,
I know.
It's going to come through the mirror.
Yeah, it's
I said,
Smash that
I
like
said
button.
Jake Paul on the Fix the other day.
Why?
The joke was we are not going to be talking about Jake Paul, but I actively didn't say Logan Paul because I was like, I don't even want to say his name again.
It's just
I keep
one of them.
wanting to say Aaron Paul, but that's the guy from
No, he's
Breaking
good.
Bad.
No, he's
right?
fine.
He's
Yeah.
Slash
He's good.
the Need for Speed movie.
That was a good movie.
Also, I watched the first episode of Black Mirror season 4 last night, and Aaron Paul is
Yeah, he's the voice at the end.
Yeah, in the end.
I was in China, so I have no idea what you
Aaron
guys are
Paul's
talking
also. I think he voices.
Need for Speed?
What's his name in BoJack?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah. He's the,
Todd.
Yeah, Todd.
Todd. Yeah,
That's a good show.
so good. Hi, Destin.
Hey, yeah, fun fact, in China, Google's blocked, Twitter's blocked, Facebook is
Yep.
blocked.
Sure,
That
what
sounds
do
like-
you what do you do?
Alta Vista.
I watch TV. I
MySpace.
tried to talk to people in
What's the
Mandarin
TV
terribly.
like?
Huh?
What's TV like over?
They had 2 English channels. It was great.
That's cool.
HBO and
Wait, so you just watched HBO? I watched HBO
no,
from
like
here.
no, like I went out
Sure.
and explored the city, and there's this place, Green Lake, and you could actually all the birds from Siberia had flown there, so you could just literally have a piece of bread in your hand. They'll just come.
Your
to it.
hands
That's
gone.
cool.
Yeah. No, they just take the bread.
just bone.
They'll just land on your arm, eat the bread, leave.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Shouldn't feed the wildlife. Let them fend for
No,
themselves.
they're okay. They're okay.
Oh my goodness.
They're
No,
all
it's
dead.
good to have
now.
you
Dustin
back.
has left, and they've all since died.
Yeah.
all went back.
So let's get to it here. I want to start with some interesting rumors floating around about Xbox first-party games in 2018 and beyond. Seems like the beginning of the year is always a little interesting in Xbox land. It was for sad reasons last year, but this year, some rumors, and I want to see if these rumors pass muster with you fine folks or not. So I'm going to start with the Coalition. They are allegedly assisting on a new Perfect Dark game with another unnamed studio. This comes from so again, just caveating this is somebody could be completely making this up, but there's enough here to at least discuss it. A Resetera user named Clobriel, if I'm pronouncing that right, which I'm probably not, revealed that he had access to the Xbox Live API SDK, where there are project entries stored.
Appy sticks.
Yeah,
That's what I like to call them. That's what they call it in the biz.
yeah.
The appy sticks.
So, and the post, it was this person was kind of being clever, but they posted some hints about what they saw. And they said, I would love to revisit Albion. Project name could be Wisdom. A UK studio should do it. And then I would love to play around with Ms. Dark again. The Coalition should definitely help if it's a third-person game. I mean, not them alone, obviously. And then I would also love to play the Crackdown 3 campaign in 4-player co-op. I would have assumed that was already a thing.
Yeah, me too.
I
But
think the big takeaway here is it's Ms. Dark MS, which means she's not married yet.
single
The important stuff.
could be a prequel.
Could be a prequel. Well, she's not married in
Anyway.
the other game.
There are two people I know in the industry who report on leaks a lot, and with the Perfect Dark one, I was talking to one of them recently, and they had the Perfect Dark thing leaked to them by two separate sources. So they're trying to find a third because
Yeah,
that's the
to
logic of a lot of
corroborate.
leakers is we want three sources.
Yep.
But there are a lot of sources for this one, and this is crazy because I mentioned wanting it last week
on your
based on
predictions.
literally nothing.
Yeah.
And now this is happening, and I'm just like, well, what if we just predict things and then they come true?
Yeah.
Do we make them happen? Like, we
Yeah.
just make Perfect Dark happen? But also, the Coalition working on this sounds awesome to me. Like,
Well,
obviously-
remember the game that was publicly unnamed, but the game that they were working on when the studio was founded back when it was called
Oh God.
Black something.
Black Tusk.
Thank you, Black Tusk. Marty with the save. There was an E3 teaser for it, and it was a spy thing of a character like climbing up a building.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some work, some like preliminary work that was done on that could be applicable
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
Perfect Dark.
We know
scenario.
they were working on a Halo game at some point, way before Gears 4, which I'm sure that doesn't
Yes.
exist anymore, whatever
Right.
that was. Yeah, and then we know they also, most recently, they helped with the PUBG port
correct.
to Xbox. And yeah,
Talented
it's
group over
yeah,
there.
totally. And we
Which
know
they literally are. That is not
yeah,
not being
for sure. And it's a given they're working on Gears 5 or
Yes.
whatever the next Gears game is, but it's totally a studio big enough to have a secondary team, especially if it's a support team for another developer helming a Perfect Dark game. And I really do feel like, we've talked about it last year and we're still talking about, there are so few announced first-party games for Xbox. Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, Crackdown, like that's what they talked about 2 years ago at E3, what they talked about last year, and we're going to get some of those early, obviously, with Sea of Thieves, but clearly at E3, we're going to, since this E3 is not about the Xbox One X, it's going to be about games. It's going to be about game announcements. And so this, I don't know whether this is real or not, but it would certainly not surprise me.
So it sounds like yes, we are largely on board with this rumor.
Yeah, I
mean,
think so.
I would love this to happen. I think I said last week the thing that works against Perfect Dark is the idea that they don't need another shooter. But yeah, you could
That was
treat
my
Perfect
next
Dark
question.
as a puzzle spy game rather than just a.
I mean, is this does it go down a more Tomb Raider-y type
Yeah.
road?
Or more like Hitman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big open world sandboxes where my playthrough is way
Gadgets
different than
and
all of your playthroughs.
And the
Yeah.
Coalition could be helping to work on multiplayer because we spoke about this last week as well. Like the Perfect Dark multiplayer was awesome. So it's like they could be helping on that because obviously that's something
And
they're
if
very
it's
good at.
or if it's Unreal 4, that's what the Coalition has more expertise in than probably any other Microsoft first-party studio, because 343 works in proprietary Halo tech.
State
Turn
of Decay
10 works
2
in,
is Unreal 4 as well.
yes, that is true. But they're from what I know, they're a smaller team.
Right.
They're like they're probably bigger than 50 people now.
Now, yeah.
But they're not as big as the Coalition is. So yeah, it would make the most sense that the Coalition could lend engine support and or multiplayer.
Sure, and the Gears franchises, in terms of third-person shooters, like the sense of mobility and movement and how your character feels is among the best in any game.
It also makes
So-
Gears distinct as a shooter.
Sure,
So in
totally.
theory, if you have Halo, which is a first-person shooter, and then Gears, which is that game about that kind of ability.
Yeah, and it doesn't really feel like anything else. Yeah.
It almost feels weird to be like, oh, it's another third-person shooter because it's really not. And then Perfect Dark could be, not another Splinter Cell, but another.
I think it's mostly that. Do they need another game where the primary thing is fire a gun?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think it's hard to sell, but I'd buy it. So maybe it's not.
I think Perfect Dark fans would enjoy another Perfect Dark, of course. Like whether or not Xbox needs another shooter. I mean, it's a good franchise. It had a rocky version on the 360.
I mean, that's the interesting thing is it's a 50-50 franchise. It's a beloved N64 game that does not hold up super well if you go back to play it.
I disagree.
If you go back to play it on N64.
If you play it on Xbox, it's great.
I don't think it's great. I think it's perfectly fine if you play it on Xbox.
I think it holds up well.
Perfectly fine.
I think it holds up well. I really do.
Okay.
What about GoldenEye?
I don't think that holds up. I think all that's nostalgia.
Well, the N64 itself doesn't hold up great.
Sure. Yeah, I completely agree.
So, in the camera.
And Perfect Dark Zero was clearly disappointing. It wasn't terrible, but it was not the killer.
Yes,
killer.
that's true.
Killer
it was.
app
They were hoping it was going to be the killer app, and it was.
It was the nuts and bolts of the Perfect Dark franchise. Get that out
cutting
of here.
deep into Marty's heart right there.
I don't. I just pretend that game doesn't exist.
I think with somebody like Coalition working on a shooter, though, I mean that's a really good fit.
I wonder who the lead would be.
Well, that was exactly where I was going to go next to finish off this part of the topic. It's, who does this? Who is if we're just rolling with the idea that this is true, who's the other developer? Who's in on this?
Rare.
They would seem busy.
Yeah,
with
not
Sea
right
of
now.
Thieves. I mean, the entirety of Rare is probably pulling pretty hard on Sea of Thieves right now.
My thinking is it's a very small contribution, just sort of like oversight.
True.
And Coalition is doing the most of the work.
Almost like a consulting type thing.
Yeah,
at
just
Rare.
to make sure they get the tone right.
Still leaves the question. Yeah, who is doing the heavy lifting on this?
I would. My gut would be not a first party studio.
Remedy what?
Yeah, I mean, totally could be Remedy. Yeah,
It's not.
No,
probably,
I don't think it would be Remedy.
But I would think that the lead would be a third party.
I would play. Go ahead.
With Coalition support.
I agree.
I would play a Perfect Dark game written by Sam Lake. That would be
that
would be interesting.
Yeah.
It was,
I just want that.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not done with the Coalition yet. The other rumors surrounding them, which it would seem like there's a little more to go on here, or at least a little more concrete evidence. The Coalition may be working on a new IP. So there's a listing on a website for this company called Story Lab, and they're like basically kind of a production company. They do mocap, they do casting, stunt work, that kind of support for a production. And on their website, I haven't checked this morning to see if it's still there, but it had said that they're working on a new IP with the Coalition Studios 2017 with the Coalition spinny logo. Currently in production 2017. Please check back for further updates on this production. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's pretty clear. New IP, Coalition Studios, and this is these folks have worked with the Coalition before.
Yeah.
Seems
They're
super
based in
legit.
Vancouver.
Yeah. So
So this rules out Gears of War Wars.
No, Gears of Wars. Gears Wars.
Gears Wars, you're right. It was Gears Wars. Damn it.
Yeah.
I also like Gears of War Wars.
It would really surprise me if both these things are true.
You think they could be one and the same? Maybe that new IP isn't actually new, but it's Perfect Dark.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, and some people toss this could just have been a typo by someone who was told, please write this thing on this website.
Yeah.
But I think either there is a new IP or this listing is referring to their work on Perfect Dark.
Right.
I don't think there's a new IP and there is Perfect Dark and there's Gears 5.
I agree completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a good sized studio, but they're not that big.
Yeah. And Perfect Dark would be a
would think.
narrative-driven game that would need a lot of mocap and a lot of casting and everything. So I could totally see that.
Trying so hard not to get too excited right now. Just like, but
No, do it. You're on a podcast. You are an avatar for our listeners. Speak for them.
Well, but I just love Perfect Dark so much. Like I'm in my head right now. I'm just like, oh, new Perfect Dark, but I don't want to do that in case I disappoint myself.
No, do it. I want to hear about what would a Perfect Dark revival look like for you that would make you super excited?
Almost the same. Like, I mean, I think that first level in Perfect Dark, even by itself, is so iconic. Like, the fact that there were like, what was it, 5 difficulty levels that you could play on, so everything was very replayable. I think it was my idea of the OG stealth game there was also a shooter. So like obviously I'm ruling out thief, but the idea that you would infiltrate a building in whichever way you wanted to, like talk to someone, you had to slap someone in the face to steal a necklace. It was just like you really legitimately felt like a spy in a way that I don't think a lot of other games.
The difficulty thing was really interesting because as you ramped it up, it added new objectives. Something GoldenEye also
the
did.
mission would literally be longer. You're right, GoldenEye did the same thing.
Yeah.
And I love that as well. It's hard for me to even say, like the multiplayer was a huge thing too. It's like I almost exactly the same is what my answer would be. Like I love that game for what it was.
It felt, especially in the 64-bit era, if you were only playing on consoles, it felt so unique and different. And there's a lot more sort of open world dynamic games with like Deus Ex or Dishonored that more people have played. But I don't know. I really do love this world, and I love it. Sort of had this like futuristic "no one lives forever" melding, which is something that I really liked, and I felt like it's such a world rife for like a reimagining and sort of a modern approach. In the same way that like Tomb Raider got silly, and then all of a sudden Crystal came in and rebooted it in the modern world, and it felt good.
Yeah, I don't even want a hard reboot like that though. Like, but I guess because there's only 2 games, like I wouldn't want it to be like 0. But even just like that hub area where you could go to the shooting range if you wanted, or you could leave and you could drive the vehicles and do all that kind of stuff. Like, and the character relationships. Like, wasn't it literally yesterday we were making jokes
about Elvis?
Elvis the alien. Like it was. There's so many things that I like about it that I would want pretty much the exact same thing.
On a side note, how sad is it that we're just never going to get another No One Lives Forever game?
That's really sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad because Monolith is very much still around and making great games, but they're owned by WB, and they're probably never going to be allowed to make anything that's not a WB big IP ever again. Sad.
Yeah.
It might have been. I mean, that one might have been one of the early female protagonists.
Yeah, that was like around the same time as
games.
Jade and Beyond Good and Evil and everything, and just probably a couple years after Joanna Dark.
Yeah, Nolf was like 97, 98, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Anyway.
Perfect Dark would have been 96 maybe?
No, Perfect Dark was 99. It was one of
Really?
the last, it was one of the last games for the N64.
Wow.
I believe it came out in May in the... Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe it was 2000, honestly.
It seemed early.
It might have been May 2000, and then the PS1 came out like 6 months later. Or PS2 came out 6 months later.
That's crazy. I mean, that explains why
it was amazing. It was one of those games that needed the expansion pack to get most of the game.
Well, it had bigger maps, like by quite a bit.
You could only play, I think, with bots with the expansion pack.
Correct. Yeah. Which was... I spent a lot of time before I had an expansion pack.
2000, Marty.
Playing without
2000, May 2000.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I really thought it was earlier than that, but I was also very young, so who knows?
Well, hopefully, E3 will. I want to be sitting near you in the war room at E3 in case this does happen.
I wish that I hadn't known any of this, so it would be like the Beyond Good and Evil thing where I would have cried. So that, like, knowing this, I'll be very excited and then just be disappointed if it doesn't happen. But I'll still freak out for sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the games that have caused the IGN war room, like a fairly stoic, but enthusiastic. But we're all there, we're busy, we're heads down. There are certain games that will cause the room or certain pockets within it to just freak out. The BG&E did that.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Yeah.
Did that.
For you and Keza?
For me and Keza. Yes. I think I said this last week. Splinter Cell. I'd be woman.
I'd do it for Fable as well.
I think that Resident Evil, that trailer that turned at the end turned out to be Resident Evil 7.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one too.
I don't remember that trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. Last
It was very spooky.
rumor here in the rumor roundup is that Playground, makers of the wonderful Forza Horizon series, which we know for sure they have a new second team working on an open world something.
It's not a
It's not a racing game. Exactly right. So they've now been connected to Fable. So I've looked into this a bit. I've talked to some people, and it seems to not be based on a lot here. Best I can find, it's sort of people are latching onto the vague rewording of a job description, and so I'm not ready to get excited yet, but I very badly want this to be true, because even though I've said before many times actually that I want Rare to do it because I think they're uniquely talented to pull it off. Boy, who better if not Rare than Playground? I mean, yes, they've only ever made car games, and the resumes of a lot of their team prior to them joining Playground, they got a lot of car games on their resume, but there is clearly an absurd talent pool at Playground. I mean, name a studio more talented in the UK than Playground? If you can, it's a short list.
Lionhead, R.I.P.
An active studio.
I mean, we probably could if
Active
we thought
studio.
about it, but I don't.
I mean, if Scotland's is Scotland still part of the UK? I
think so,
'Cause then
yeah.
okay, Rockstar.
Rockstar counts.
Rockstar.
Yeah,
But
that's where I was going.
anyway, so I mean, it's Playground making a Fable game could be. I mean, and they obviously have the Microsoft relationship with Horizon. By the way, we should still be getting a Forza Horizon game this year. This second team, this alleged Fable project, would be for later from this second studio that they're still staffing up and in early production on. So, we should still get our super sexy Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon, as we discussed last week.
So
Should still be happening.
the job posting was like open world RPG, right?
They didn't say RPG yet.
They said, I believe, open world and action. I don't know if they ever said RPG. But the whole thing, the rewording was that the job description said new IP and now no longer says new IP.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
okay.
again, it's not a lot to go off.
And it also didn't it. Someone did. We were talking about this the other day. Someone who used to work at Lionhead on the Fable series tweeted out
That's
that they
right.
know who is developing Fable
That's what it was.
4,
Yeah.
and that they're keeping it local.
Oh, well.
And it was the dude lived in the same city as Playground or something like that. Yeah.
Royal Leamington Spa, been there.
Obviously,
humble brag.
I also want Fable, and I think Playground are
It's a cute
really
little town,
great.
actually.
I don't feel the same way you do about this, and that
Yeah.
I am just like, they make racing games, so I'm not going to be like, I'm super hyped about them doing it because I
Right.
have no reason to
Right, it
believe
is
they
a
can
wild
do it.
card for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, like
right?
I want the game to exist. I think Playground are great. No reason to think that they could make a good Fable.
But they've been staffing up with a bunch of people who've made a lot of open world,
Yeah.
like amazing open world games.
You're right. There are you could we might I can't remember if this came up in the office or on the air. I can't keep anything straight anymore. But EA Tiburon, who've been making really great Madden games for many years, made a Superman game
Yeah.
that didn't go well. Like
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
branched out, now that's one
Yeah.
example. But
not
you're
that I'm even assuming the worst. It's
No,
just like
I
I have
get that.
no reason to believe that this would be incredible.
But
for
they've like
Playground.
again, I wish I would have looked this up. But they like hired a pretty high profile lead from Horizon,
Well, yeah,
like Horizon Zero Dawn.
yeah,
from
I've
Guerrilla.
seen
yeah,
that.
from
and there
Guerrilla.
was,
So, like,
I think that was someone.
I think someone from Rockstar.
I
Honestly,
think that's what I
yeah.
was gonna say. Someone from Rockstar
Yeah.
as well, which is like sure, but the studio is still known for making racing games. So it's like
Well-
I'm not gonna say like I doubt them, but I'm not gonna be like I'm so glad Playground is making
I don't know,
Fable.
but it's
Like
the
I
same
just
thing
have
of, like,
no idea what this will be.
We cover games primarily for a living, but like I can talk just as educatedly about movies and TV as I can about games. maybe more
Bizarre.
so, but it's just not what I get paid for.
Bizarre Creations
little bit
was
different.
known for racing games
Mm-hmm.
as well, but they made Geometry Wars and they made
Is that why Geometry Wars was in?
yes,
That was where it debuted.
yeah.
In PGR.
Yeah.
I knew that, but I didn't
Yeah.
know why it was there because I'm.
And then they made a very good shooter whose I'm old. Whose name escapes me. It didn't sell well, but it was good.
You remember what its hook was?
360 game. Starts with a C, I think. I gotta look it up. You guys keep talking.
One thing you can say
I'm gonna look down.
about
Call of Duty
the,
Modern Warfare.
Different
the
game.
Playground team, though, is that they know how to make an excellent game,
Sure.
racing game. So they definitely have the project management skills and the people able to facilitate that with the proper staffing. So if
Yeah,
they're
they
staffing
also
up
make
the
a
way it
pretty
makes
game, a big open world that's full of lots of
you
interesting
feel better?
things,
What
good
if
at drawing people's attention to things.
What
Like I'm not
if
doubting any of that.
you play as a car in Fable?
No.
Like a car from like accidentally falls through a wormhole and ends up in Albion, and suddenly you're a car.
No.
Like imagine being in a world full of mystery and magic, and you are a car.
There was a
No.
cartoon I watched as a kid where some kid was subjected to a science experiment, a teenager, and if he got warm, like if
Oh,
the
God, I saw that.
temperature went up, he would transform into a red sports car.
Wait a minute, we got it.
That happens to me all the time.
So Activision has, I believe, just dropped the Transformers license. Let's have them make a big open world Transformers game, because then half the time you are a car,
That would be great.
and the other half the time you're a robo.
Swish.
That would actually
Yeah.
be excellent.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I'd be
Made a
all for
video
it.
game.
The
guys.
bizarre game I was thinking of is The Club.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
was
I played
very
the club.
good.
Yeah.
So yes,
remember
it
that
can be
game
done. So yeah, I kind of feel like that's the playground Fable thing is, there's a couple of like data points there, but I feel like we're wanting to connect those dots a little more than the dots are connecting themselves, but maybe.
It's nice to want things.
I mean, we're all reasonably confident that Microsoft's not going to let the Fable the Fable IP rot.
Absolutely.
So, the question is not if, but when.
Yeah.
And they've got to, you'd think they're got to spin up something soon because it takes a long time.
They're just going to stand there like 11.
Well, Phil Spencer did say twice in 2017 that they are working on the first party issue.
And that was late last year as well. And I absolutely believe that this year is the year we get a lot of announcements, and next year's probably the one that gets all the releases. I totally believe that's happening. So that's why that's probably why we're even entertaining these, right? Is that we know that they're really focusing on that, and I truly believe that. So it's like we'll get Perfect Dark, we'll get Fable. Perfect Dark still seems crazy to me, but I want it so bad. But Fable, I think is totally plausible. I agree it needs to be UK developer. That's, I think,
Totally.
is a core of the franchise at this point. So that totally needs
it's
to
just
happen.
so funny.
I don't know who it
What
is.
the series has come back for 13 years. It's so long. 2005.
Yeah.
More than that, probably, because I'm sure.
Even if it was, sure, if it was revealed this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Been
not
a
going to be
while.
and it's out now game.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. We'll move on. So there's your Xbox rumors for the week to start the year. Do with them what you will. We can revisit these come E3 when some of these announcements will probably happen and some of them.
I really like the fact that you mentioned Perfect Dark last week.
Yep.
I mentioned I wanted Playground to do Fable.
Yep.
And I said that I wanted Cyberpunk, and then the Cyberpunk Twitter account tweeted for the first time today
Tweeted
in like
beep.
4 years.
Hey Marty,
Beep.
can you can you write me down
Some
can
numbers?
You pick 6 numbers
Yeah,
between 1 and 45.
They're still
and
going to be the lost numbers. I'm sorry.
Did you say that you wanted Playground to make Fable last week?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember that.
Yeah. Because I accidentally
Here,
said
we
turn
can
10, and then Ryan was like, "You mean
go to the
Playground."
tape.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I do.
We don't have the
remember
tape.
that. I remember the turn 10 bit.
We absolutely have tape. We record these, right? If we don't, I
think
feel like it's
so.
a waste of time.
There's a red light over there that's doing something.
Yeah.
All right. Sea of Thieves, which is definitely happening, and it's in fact even coming out very soon, March 20th.
20-ish.
20th or 23rd.
Yeah.
20th or 23rd, whatever that week is. The closed beta for Sea of Thieves will be happening from January 24th to the 29th. So you got about 5 days to enjoy what will be a reasonably far along feature complete version of Sea of Thieves, no doubt. You can only access it, though, since it is a closed beta, if you either had joined the Insider program prior to December 1st, which was that other we told you about that deadline back before it happened. If you missed that, you can still get in by pre-ordering the game. And just as a reminder, Amazon and pardon me, there are other retailers now where you can just pre-order a game without being billed up front. So you could should still be able to get in on that if you were interested. No open beta has been confirmed, but it's inevitable. They're going to want to try and just smash this game and get as many people on it before it launches. That's common practice for games of this size. So if you aren't interested in pre-ordering, you want to wait and see how the game comes along, and you missed that Insider deadline, I'm extraordinarily confident that you're going to get an open beta shot at it in either February or probably at the latest early March.
Yeah, so I was just looking at my emails because I got the invite to this, and a thing that I think goes in line with what you're saying is that I now have the title of founder as a valued member of the community during alpha testing, which means that you get invited to the closed beta and you get a founder badge in the forum to show other pirates you're no stranger to the sea. So my assumption is they gave people who had been active in the alpha founder badges so that when the closed beta rather, so that when they have the open beta, that it's like these are people who were here in the closed beta.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it's like
otherwise,
almost
why
like
would you
you
do that?
can spot a Sherpa and be
Yeah.
like, because it's you sort of need communication in this, and
That's
so
true.
hopping in for the first time, you're like, oh, what's happening, and being like, oh, there's someone who
As
knows
soon
what's
as I
happening.
read this on the email, I was like, oh, surely they did that for that reason because
Yeah.
they're going to have an open.
I am just super ready for this game to come out.
Me too. I'm very excited.
It's totally like right up there with Far Cry
Yeah.
and Monster Hunter is my
Did you
most
get a
anticipated
chance to
games.
check out any of it during any of the alpha period?
Yeah, I have, and I
Yeah.
think I'm ready to sort of not going blind because I've played quite a bit of it, but I'm just ready to have this game be out there and
Just the whole thing,
Yep.
right? Rather than a little contained
yeah, because
brief
I'm sold
experience.
on it, and so
Yeah.
like,
playing it. Like I'm still playing, and I will still play this closed beta just because I'm enjoying it.
yeah, my thing is like I hit a certain point where I'm like, okay, especially a game that has like leveling and progression, I'm like, this is like I'm wasting time now. Like
I get
I'm
that.
dumping money down the drain. So like I'm ready to buy. I'm done renting. Yeah.
A life of a game tester is not for you then. If
Oh,
you
no.
don't, if you don't want to have to reset your progress
Yeah,
and
exactly.
start
exactly.
over.
Yeah, it's not like I don't care really like achievements or anything like that, but it's mostly just like if I get something cool in this alpha, I would be bummed if I didn't get to carry it over.
Yeah, I haven't had a hunger to try and get all 1,000 points in a game achievements in a while, but this might
don't
be the
do that
one.
so
I might have to do it and
I'm
see
excited
it.
to see the achievements list.
God, some of these might be impossible.
Punch a shark, I'm sure
Yeah.
is going to be one of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see that list and what it looks like. Hopefully, it's not too hard.
Swim for a full day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It might be it without
I mean,
dying.
that's also not that hard. I've done a fair bit of swimming in that game to see how far you could go, and you can swim as far as you want to. Like eventually, you have.
You would accumulate.
I don't know if we're even allowed to talk about it.
Complete no, the alpha stuff's all under NDA technically.
Yeah, so I can't actually talk about it.
Complete a quest without getting.
If you swim far enough, you actually get to the end of the world and you just fall off the map.
Flat
What,
Earth.
like
Hashtag
Narnia?
Flat Earth.
Yeah, Flat Earth. It's Kyrie Irving was a
Oh,
consultant.
okay. I
on
thought
this.
this was a Narnia.
No,
thing.
you know how like the map is like, don't go. Here
Is that
be
a Narnia
dragons.
thing?
Yeah, I've been so I'm reading the entire Chronicles of Narnia to my daughter, and we're up to. So, by the way, it turns out there's like 2 camps for C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia of which order you're supposed to read them in.
Wait,
Because
really?
what, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was like the second or third book, right?
Depends. So that's camp. That's the alleged sort of the canonical chronological.
yeah.
But there's the publication order as well.
Yeah.
Which is how they were ordered when I was a kid and read
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I read
I
them
think
in whatever order.
The
they came in the
Magician's
box.
Nephew was the first one when I was a kid, or when I read it.
So there's clearly our generational
no.
divide. 'Cause
Right,
for me,
like a
the
couple
set I
years old.
had, was
Yeah.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is the first book, and then Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and on from there. So I've decided,
I think I read it that way too.
Yeah.
yeah, well, Marty.
I just got it in a box set
as a
when I was a
teenager.
kid. But it's funny because when I got to the last book, I guess I'd been reading them for several years.
Yeah.
And I got to the last book and was like, wait a minute, is this religious? It was like, oh, it is.
Yes.
Huh. And it didn't occur to me at any point until the
Spoilers.
very last.
The lion, he Christ.
Yeah. Real weird. I had no idea.
Christ.
Anyway, in the Prince Caspian book, because I just recently finished it with my daughter.
I like
that
that
they literally just get to there's an end
edge
of the world. Like the sea gets shallower and shallower, and then there's this unfathomably huge mountain range
Yeah.
where Aslan is hanging out.
Pretty much video game logic.
Yeah,
All you can-
basically.
that's it. There's the map.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
The wall's
Yeah.
too big.
So maybe that's at the end of the Sea of Thieves universe too. There's a
Oh,
giant
there's a hot
lion
C.S.
on a-
Lewis tie-in.
You never know.
Nice.
You didn't
You
create
never
that.
know.
That was just pirates. That was just maps because the map is this big and what's over
Right.
there.
What are you
That's
gonna
the
do?
end. Maps. Maps.
Lion is Christ.
The lion is Christ. Compels you.
January 24th to 29th for the closed beta in Sea of Thieves. All right. Xbox achievements. We were just talking about those a minute ago. The new system is coming. Mike Ibarra has tweeted about it. The team there is really looking at redoing achievements in a full overhaul kind of way. And we have some possible details. Windows Central, who's they had a couple of Scorpio leaks, correct? So they've got a nice track record. So they claim that the new system, or a new system within the achievement system called Career, could be added to Xbox, adding leveling, quests, and loot for avatars that would sit alongside your achievements and your gamer score.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, Windows Central reports that it has received documentation showing that Microsoft is currently testing Career, which seems to subsume the current achievement system. Completing achievements will contribute towards your gamer tag's level, and leveling up rewards players with loot boxes containing cosmetic items for their avatar. Players can apparently even prestige in this system, Call of Duty style. Career will apparently also include quests, which rewards players with more XP and loot boxes for doing specific things, such as playing a specific game. And going by the documentation that Windows Central has obtained, it appears loot boxes cannot, not be bought with real money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gamifying your video games,
Yeah.
which is a little that's a little Inception-y.
My first
but
reaction
it's
to
cool.
this was I didn't know what to think of it because it's a change and change is scary. But I like the idea of being able to level up based on how much gamer score I have. And loot boxes are cool with me too, but I mean, I did see people freak out about this. But the avatars already have microtransactions because you can already buy cosmetic items. So it's already.
But you just go buy it. It's not like random.
No, but like having a loot box that has cosmetic items is there to like give you these things so that you look and want to buy more. That's probably the actual strategy behind it. And like, I don't think that that's a bad thing. They're not adding anything in new that's going to steal your money.
You have the note here, like they were introduced at the beginning of the 360 generation. So I remember getting my first trophy for Hexic probably or whatever.
Hexic HD,
yeah. Sorry, achievement.
You're banned from the show
Guys,
for life.
I don't care about any of them, so I'm equally apathetic towards these things. But think about how much games as a whole and UI has changed in the last 12 years, and so it totally makes sense for these things to evolve and grow and adapt to, our modern culture.
In that time, achievements have not meaningfully changed. Like they've got a couple. They've got like rare ones now. The little diamond gem that pops up.
I like that actually.
Also,
like
could you imagine if either Sony or Microsoft truly like overhauled either achievements or trophies into a way that made them compelling and be like, oh, this will give me something extra, and so that I feel like would sway people who
make money off of trophies.
Yeah, but it's so like,
it's all about keeping you in the ecosystem.
And that's the thing is like I feel like when you hit a certain point, like unless you have an Xbox One X with a 4K TV, which is like, okay, that makes sense where you're going to go for a third party game. But like when Call of Duty comes out, if it's like, well, if I go to this one console, I get something for getting 1,000 points.
That's the exact same thing as the Apple system. It makes it hard for you to want to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like I have no doubt that I will always own an Xbox in part because of that. Like I'll never change my gamer tag. Like it's just a thing that I've had forever that I like racking that up, and if they make it into more of a career, it's cool.
I can't give up my number on my Xbox Live account because I go back.
What are you, 15 years?
Whatever the max is.
Probably 2002.
Yeah, it goes all the way back. So can't give that up.
Yeah.
What happens if like it accidentally like you change your credit card or something and like
happened to me.
tries to like update your Xbox Live subscription and like it goes to a dead credit card? Like, do you go back to zero?
I don't know. I think
I don't want to give you like anxiety or anything.
It's too late. I'm already getting
like
mine.
You buy like 20 years of Xbox Live.
I had Xbox for about 2 years, like right when it started, and I changed internet service providers, and I lost my original account.
Yeah.
So, but I've had it the whole time, but it's just because I didn't have access to that email
couldn't
anymore.
log in.
I lost it.
I mean,
so it wasn't like you were using the same account and then lost the number, because I actually don't think that happens.
I mean,
it did back then.
I had to create a new account. I called. I
Yeah.
tried to recover it because once it expired, they're just like, "Hey, you need to sign in your email." I'm like, "I don't have that email."
my account is still on my college email address, which clearly doesn't work.
Mine is attached to an email that is long dead.
Yeah.
Long dead.
Mine is unfortunately an email address that I use solely for Xbox Live because I had like a weird security issue and was like, well, I'll just make a separate email account literally just for this so that can never happen to me.
What is it at hotmail.com? No, just kidding.
Is it at Hotmail.com? It's totally all you have several Hotmail addresses. It makes me
I
uncomfortable.
only have one and I have 3 Gmails.
It still makes me uncomfortable.
I just have a lot of different email addresses for security reasons, basically. I like have lots of different.
Identity theft? Are you the identity thief?
It's me. I'm that Phantom Thief.
I like this achievement system update a lot. I actually didn't like what they did with achievements when it came over to Xbox One. I would hunt them actively on the 360. I liked how they popped up. I like the blade system better. And I felt like they buried them a little bit more on the One's original UI.
Interesting.
So I'm really happy that they're...
I totally never felt that way.
Well, they just they took too long.
It was a little harder to get there. Yeah, you're totally right.
I'm happy that this update's coming.
Can we
I
get
like
the
how they are
update
now.
where you can delete a game if it has 0G? Because that annoys the crap
I
out
know
of me.
you can hide them. I
Yeah.
don't know if you can. You can't, but maybe not delete them.
the
Mikey Barra
betas.
specifically called that out in whatever the last I think the fall major update.
Yeah.
You can hide them.
Yeah.
So that you just don't see it.
I feel like the update needs to be with like you, like as an individual. I feel like that's where the update comes in. Is like you don't update the UI, you update yourself.
Alana's
to not
spring
care.
update.
It drives me crazy because you could do it for the 360. So it's like, why can you
Could
not
you?
do it
I
now?
didn't
Yeah,
know
you
that.
could delete a
Yeah.
game if you had 0G. You just like remove it from the list. It was great.
Why don't you get all the achievements?
Because it's games that I was like playing because I had a dev interview at E3 and I had every car game. So it's like every Project Cars. It's just like all of these games that I like was like, I should play enough of this to like completely understand everything, but I don't want to play a ton of it. And getting the achievements for those games is so hard.
What if you pay a kid to play it all?
No.
Why?
What? I don't-
That's how you get those
I don't have
achievements.
fancy
Like
executive
Phil
money.
Spencer does? No, he actually plays. I love that was a rumor about Phil Spencer
That he-
for a little while
that
though.
he pays children.
That some intern like just put all the stuff on his account.
No.
Oh, does he have a bunch of achievements?
It's almost like
Should add him as a friend.
he needs to for his job. Interesting.
All right. Speaking of Alana Spring Update and Spring Updates in general, the Xbox One dashboard is getting continual updates. We all know that. But here's some of the things on the way. A Do Not Disturb mode, additional functionality for the guide, more inactivity shutdown options. So there's next achievement functionality, which makes it faster and easier to monitor the closest achievements across all owned games. You have filters to sort between the closest, most common, rare, most rare, and highest gamer score rewarded achievements, so you can filter by all that. Also added to the guide are mini game hubs, which will allow players to access extra content, looking for group, and see what friends are up to without leaving your game. So
I really like the Do Not Disturb mode. That's great for Let's Plays, for streaming, for anything like
Yes.
that. And I also really like Next Achievement. Like, I think I will use that a lot. I think both these are awesome.
It's just, they you were talking about Destin and the beginning, 2013. It's completely unrecognizable in the best of ways. Like everything, it's like that never happened. The lukewarm, slow dash. In
Oh
2013.
yeah.
Everything
it's much
about
better
it
now.
is totally gone. It's great. Like they've completely rewritten it so that it's now a nice, snappy, zippy, clean, simple interface.
Yeah.
And thank you Microsoft for it. It's so great.
I'm like thinking about how you did get to achievements on 360, and it was the home button and then like LB, and then you would see the full list of games. And you're right in that was really easy, whereas now it does have to open the separate app.
You actually have to open the achievements
Yeah,
app
you're
to
right.
even look
That
at
is a little bit
And then each one was like a full page originally. It's
Yeah.
better now. Now you can actually sort of see your progress on
And I really like
where
the
you're at.
ability to track achievements as well. Like that's cool. Like they've definitely like changes like this are awesome. But you're right, and it was actually on the 360 the way that you could do it was really cool too.
Yeah.
GTA Online had its biggest month ever.
That's nuts.
In December. I remind you that Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in September of 2013. Grand Theft Auto Online came out a week or two later.
I feel like this game's still going to be selling when Grand Theft Auto 5 is old enough to buy Grand Theft Auto 5 in the store.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rockstar Games has announced that GTA Online has broken its player record 4 years, more than 4 years, after the release of the game. According to Rockstar, December 2017 saw more players in GTA Online than ever before, although an official player count was not released.
The heists are a blast, and like anybody who
played the
played
new one yet?
I haven't played the new one yet. I played the others though. I had to do some best way to plays for those. They're really, really, really fun. Crazy stuff can happen during them. And this new one that you're looking at
the
right
Doomsday
now,
Heist.
Yeah.
I'm dying to play this. It has flying DeLoreans.
yeah, it's made for Ryan.
It is made for me.
Yeah, this looks like a blast.
Watch
I
if
can't
you're
wait.
if you're listening on audio, we're just watching there's some B-roll up on the video version right now.
Yeah,
There they are. They fly those DeLoreans.
That's very cool.
It has like story elements, so you get like an intro cutscene. You go out with your friends and you just do crazy stuff. It's really
And apparently this takes like 12 hours. Like it's
Oh, wait,
a
seriously?
game. Like
Yeah.
it's a video game inside
Whoa.
another video game.
I didn't know that.
yeah. The
That
heists
makes
are
me want
really
to play it even more.
There it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should
You do it in like little parts usually.
Can we
So, yeah.
can we just do that? Like we work here. We're allowed to just play that game?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
Yes,
yeah,
you
you're
are.
allowed. Yeah, like, you individually are. You
I don't
don't
think
have
anyone's
to
gonna yell at
ask
you,
permission.
yeah.
No, you're good.
I
Go ahead.
assigned some of the guys who work with me to play Grand Theft Auto actually, so that we can cover stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people play. I think John Ryan plays.
Yeah, he still
and
does.
Our UK boys play a ton.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
Rupert
great.
and Scrabbles and you have to.
I need to get back into it too. I haven't played since the last time.
I like the idea that Ryan just at his desk playing. He's like, I'm writing a preview of it. I'm like, Ryan, this came out a month ago. Clearly not writing a preview of it. I'm not sure what you're doing.
It's my you can't question me, Marty.
We're getting it for an IGN first round. It's already out.
Yeah.
You really don't need.
So yeah, I mean, the only game that might put a dent in this is the next Rockstar game, which will be Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
For Red
Yeah.
Dead Redemption 2. And even that, like, do you guys think? I mean, they're obviously the same genre, but it's a Skyrim Fallout scenario where it's like they're
People play both.
apples and oranges. Do you guys even think that Red Dead Online will take players from GTA Online?
I
Or
think
Yeah.
some. I don't think it'd be that many. Like it's
Same.
also like GTA is one of the most mainstream known games ever because
True.
it's always so controversial, whereas Red Dead is not that.
That's
so I
true.
think like GTA, it's still a step above, but it's also like the one thing that could cancel that out is that we keep underestimating people are buying more games every single year.
Yeah,
So,
and
it's
Buying more
just-
GTA copies
That's true.
every
yeah,
single
yeah,
month.
That too.
I mean, yeah, but like Red Dead's much smaller comparatively than GTA, especially GTA 5. But it's still, I think Red Dead's still one of the 50 best-selling games of all time.
Yeah.
Which is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think there's gonna be some like if you were a GTA Online lifer, you're not gonna go anywhere because you've invested so much time into that character and career and sort of profile. But I am just content-wise so much more likely to put in time on a Red Dead Online than it would be for a GTA Online.
I want to know what the minigames are going to be. Like, I don't know. I
Poker.
spoke to you about this recently. That's what I'm hoping. Like, what am I
It was
going to
in
do
the
instead
first
of
one.
tennis?
Yeah.
It's got to be poker and liar's dice and like the horseshoe throwing game that they had, like, all that kind of stuff. Wasn't there one of the knife ones where you have to like?
A knife, no.
I
so.
think you're right.
I feel like that was there somewhere. There'll be like horse taming competitions and
I
stuff.
want murder
Lassoing
investigations.
the horse.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Lasso.
I want to solve crimes.
LA Noir inside of
Yeah.
Red Dead.
Mhm.
Do it.
Yeah, enough of that. Farming. Want to start a farm?
I don't know if
Oh,
they'll have farming.
I could see that.
I
sort
could
of
honestly
working. I think
see
you're making a joke.
You
but-
starting like a homestead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would be
Yes.
down to do that.
Yeah, and you have like livestock. Okay, now I just
and you
want.
get
I think I just
revenue.
want Stardew Valley.
Have you, yeah. Who played Stardew? Check that out.
I want to get married. Okay, for real, I want to get married.
Maybe.
Red Dead.
Marty
Not
is-
just
In
married
Red
life.
Dead.
Marty's single.
Okay, for real, please marry me.
In Red Dead.
All right.
For real, I want.
You said for real.
But for real, like if you could get married in Red Dead, I'd get married in Red Dead.
You stop pausing before you say in Red Dead. Just go through with it with a full sentence.
I just want to get married in Red Dead.
There's darkness inside us all. We're seeing a little bit of Marty's right now. The vanishing of Ethan Carter
Has appeared.
is it's unvanished. It's finally coming to Xbox next week. It's going to be
Yay.
$20. It'll have some Xbox One X enhancements. Marty, tell us about how good this game is.
It is
Why
a
we should play.
very good game from the, it was, I believe the developers, the Astronauts, which were former People Can Fly, which did Bulletstorm and Gears of War Judgment. It is from the Polish team. It is set in Wisconsin. It is a...
Wait, what? Wisconsin? That's
yeah,
where you're from.
None of this looks like, it's totally not, there's like mountains in the background.
You don't
There's-
remember this,
There's no
Marty?
mountains in Wisconsin.
Looks very
But
pretty.
yeah,
Where's
you
Marty's
play a detective trying to figure out, there's a kid named Ethan Carter who disappeared in your trade. It's a first-person mystery-solving walking
it's right up my
simulator.
alley.
Yeah.
You remember
trying
the
to solve this
mountains of
kid's mysteries.
Racine?
Yeah, right? One thing is, it's one of the, still remains one of the most gorgeous games I've ever played. Like, if you look at this, they did this, the telemetry, I think it's called, the, like, where you photograph objects
Oh,
and actually
yeah,
put them in
yeah.
the game.
Photogrammetry?
Photogrammetry? Yeah. Gynophagy.
No, that's when you like seeing
Yeah,
someone be eaten.
but then we know it's going to get Xbox One X enhancements. The game is also spooky, which is really like it's an absolutely spooky game. The mystery solving mechanic is really interesting, and since one of my main criticisms with the game was a one section of it which was really cheap and really unfair and ground the game to a halt, which they fixed in a patch afterwards.
Nice.
So this will be sort of the best version of the game you can imagine with Xbox One X enhancements.
Poor
More
man.
like the Xbox One best version.
Stop.
Did it.
Nailed
did
it.
This game's really cool, though. It's like a 3-4 hour game. Really good story written by Tom Bissell, who also wrote the book that The Disaster Artist, the movie, was based on.
Didn't they say that they're making another game that was that
That was the game we saw recently at
Game Awards?
The Game Awards. It's
And
the
it
game
was a
that
really
started
good
off,
trailer.
and you started off and you thought it was going to be a walking simulator, and then all of a sudden it turned into a demon slaying simulator.
Oh yeah,
I
that
can't
was
remember what that
good.
game was
It
called.
was like from the makers of
The Vanishing of
Ethan
Ethan
Carter.
and then it cuts and it's like and
And
Bulletstorm.
yeah, and then it got super violent, which is great. But yes, very
So
cool.
highly recommended for next week. Then
Absolutely.
it's out next Friday.
Yeah,
if
$20.
you are serious about
Certainly worth it, in my opinion.
Cool. Well, that's everything happening in the world of Xbox this week. Alana, anything to spend our money on? But while we're hanging on to $20 for Vanishing of Ethan Carter next week.
Retail, nothing.
It's January.
Digital, you can get Albert and Otto, which is $12.
That looks like Limbo.
That's cool. Makes me think of Popo and Yo. But
Albert is like a boy who has a lot of gruesome deaths, and Otto is some sort of a machine that you also control.
Yes. All right, cool.
Yeah, it looked Limbo-y.
Marketplace, January games to goal. We have the The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing.
The
3.
Inevitable Adventures of Van Helsing.
January 1 to 31 on Xbox One. Zombie.
It's just zombie. It's not zombie.
One of you said it was last week. Were you strong?
Zombie U.
It was Zombie U.
Yeah.
January 16 to February 15 on Xbox One. Tomb Raider Underworld, January 1 to 15 on Xbox One and Xbox 360. And Army of Two from January 16 to 31 on Xbox One and Xbox 360.
Cool. All right. So last week, Destin, you were still on vacation, still halfway around the world, having an awesome time on vacation. It secretly got even more awesome for you, even though you didn't realize it, because you did not fall behind.
All right.
In the
Still in the
2018
running.
Unlock Block Trivia Challenge. Reminder, if you are maybe new to the podcast, so every year we play all year. I ask these guys a trivia question about Xbox that you send in, by the way. I'll give you the details on that in a minute. And anybody who gets it right gets a point. And then at the end of the year, there is a fan-made trophy. Please email me, unlocked@ign.com, if you're interested in making this year's trophy. I've had some good suggestions. Somebody suggested it should be maybe the trophy should be made out of an original Kinect, since the whole theme is just old Xbox peripherals.
That's a good idea.
So an original Kinect could be good. Nobody needs that anymore.
No.
Right?
No.
No one needs any Kinect anymore.
That's you really
Shut your
can't.
mouth. My parents do.
Thanks,
Everybody
Xbox.
else. So we started last week. Nobody got the question right, so no points on the board yet. Destin, you're very competitive in this game.
I don't know this one.
All right. Well, then let's go.
Marty does.
And so I'm going to make sure I'm going to go to you first as soon as I read the question. Actually, I'll go to Alana first and then you, but just trying to be polite. Cameron
Chivalry.
asks, throughout the incredible hit show 30 Rock, characters are shown playing the 360. In Season 6, Episode 20, and he did send the receipts. He sent the video as proof. I watched it. Tracy Jordan wants to skip his wife's fashion show in order to play what game online with his friend Takashi from Tokyo. Tracy Jordan, of course, played by Tracy Morgan in a phenomenal, iconic performance. So
I was editorializing. That was not a part of the question. Is true.
It is true. I only speak facts. So what game was Tracy Jordan wanting to play with Takashi online instead of going to his wife's fashion show? Was it Halo Reach? Was it Mass Effect 3? Was it Call of Duty Black Ops 2? Or was it Grand Theft Auto 4, which, by the way, is turning 10 this year?
Yeah.
4 is 10 this
Yeah, we made a list of all the gaming anniversaries this year, and that's wild. 2008, 98 was the solid year. The fall of 98 was insane. That was Ocarina of Time, Half-Life, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Well, 10 years ago was really good too.
Yeah.
07.
Or 07
It
was the
07.
big year. Yeah.
It's 11 now.
So, all right, I'm going to go to Alana first. I don't know if you're a 30 Rock watcher.
I have
I'm
watched
not.
a lot of 30 Rock.
Okay.
But I don't know the answer to this, but I'm like trying to like put the pieces together of like the different things that I know. So one of them is like I said before, that GTA is one of the biggest mainstream names. So that's an easy one to go with for people who don't game, that they would know what that is. Tracy Jordan, on the other hand, seems like the character that I can picture making a Halo Reach joke about for whatever reason.
Okay.
I don't know why, but... And then Call of Duty obviously is the easiest one to play online with your friend from... Well, no, they all have online components. That's a very big online game. That would be easy to go
I like
to
the
for
thinking out
multiplayer.
loud here. I like hearing the process.
I think I'm still going to go with D, Grand Theft Auto 4,
Okay.
just based on the fact that it is effectively a household name.
Okay. Destin, I'm going to go your way next.
Yeah, my guess was Call of Duty because it's easier to play online.
Okay, so
Don't
we
know
have a
that,
GTA.
Yeah.
We have a Call of Duty. Marty, you were confident before we
am.
went on the air.
I am.
You have the look of a confident
am.
person right now.
It's even a broken clock is right twice a day. Even a broken man is confident twice a day.
All right, what have you got, Marty?
It's Mass Effect 3.
It is
Wow.
Mass
Yeah.
Effect 3.
Which I remember because the joke is so outlandish because I'm like, that wasn't the game I expected him to be playing with his
See,
10-year-old
that's why it's
Japanese
like
friend.
He could be making a weird joke, and that was part of it. And then
Yeah.
I also thought, like, what if Grand Theft Auto is too controversial for this show? Because it's a weird show, but I don't imagine they'd want to be like, Tracy plays violent.
Well, no, there's an entire episode about how Tracy Jordan makes his porno video game, his sex video game.
All right,
Because he wants to, because like he's like, the games I'm playing don't have enough banging in it, and so he ends up like making his own.
GTA.
Hey, yeah.
Get
Mass Effect 3 has
get
tons
that
of
hot
banging, right?
coffee.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's true.
Yeah.
Mass Effect has banging. Well, Hot Coffee was San Andreas. See, if
Right.
that were on there, then we'd be all good. But
All right. Sound logic, but ultimately incorrect this week,
Yeah.
Alana and Destin.
Oh, well.
Solid. I mean, Call of Duty, it's practically universal. It's
Yeah.
not, it's a solid shot to take there.
Out in
Mass Effect 3
GTA.
is a really weird choice.
I think this was probably right around when that game came out as well.
Yeah.
The only reason I would have guessed Mass Effect because I like Mass Effect a lot.
Right.
Well, it's like I know like a bunch of the writers on that show are a big old bunch of nerds, so it's like entirely possible. They have like more than one nerd reference in that show. So.
So Cameron, thank you very much. Excellent way to get some points on the board starting for this year's Unlock Block Trivia Challenge. If you want to participate in this, send in a question. Make it an Xbox question. Give it 4 multiple choice answers. Note the correct one in your email and send it to me. The address is unlocked@ign.com. If you're interested in making a trophy, again, we're giving perhaps out of an old original Connect. Get in touch with me at that same email address about that as well. We've got all year. Let's go now.
Yes.
Let's. I've had enough. Let's go to lunch.
We gotta get right out of here.
Let's see. You can follow me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. And what's unfiltered is it was Mitch Gittleman from Fastest Studio. If you missed that, it was like right before the holidays last year. So the Shadowrun FPS, Mech Assault, Crimson Skies. We talk about all that stuff. So look for IGN Unfiltered on our YouTube channel or whatever your favorite podcast service is. Alana?
I am at Charlanazad on all of the things. And this week, or it'll be up in the next 7 days, I'm going to have a video along with a feature written by Chris Stead about what Bitcoin is, why that means anything, and how you can get into it.
I like that. I actually, I know what it is, but I wouldn't have the slightest idea of where to start.
This is a very good feature that
Yeah.
I went from being annoyed that Alana brings it up to knowing a little bit about it
Excellent.
by copy reading it. Yeah.
Destin?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at DestinLegary. I am slowly getting back into the swing of things. I landed from a plane from
You look
China
like a husk.
yesterday.
Go home.
I'm really weird today. Like I don't feel right.
We
yet.
can understand.
Yeah.
Believe me.
I need a few more days.
Understandable. Send him some well wishes.
Oh.
At Destin Legary.
Save them for when I actually need well wishes. I
Well-
need sleep.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Marty, take us home.
You can follow me at McBiggity. I'm not doing anything.
good
I don't.
enough.
Oh, yeah.
That's chill.
Yeah.
All right. First Friday this week.
Yeah.
It's
The second Friday, but
whatever. It's fine. We are doing a live episode of Unlocked, which it'll be just kind of a bonus episode. It won't be numbered, and it will be, if you can't be here, it will be posted online at a later date. It'll have to be all edited and everything, so it won't go up super quickly. But
Tickets already locked down for that, though.
the tickets,
I think all
done? All got?
Yeah, they're all
They're
done.
sold out.
So I
All
guess
right,
the
well,
only
then-
message is if you're going to be there, we'll see you there.
So
Yeah.
I
We'll all
guess
be
I
there.
won't bother promoting come to it, because if you already got the tickets, you are. But
Yeah.
we're gonna have a little fun. I guess I don't know. I guess I won't give away whatever we're gonna do. But yeah, so we'll have an extra free bonus episode of Unlocked
That's
for
you
you.
still going to be sleepy on Friday?
Weeks.
I think I'm gonna be good by Friday.
We will.
What day
I
is
will.
it?
I will inject
Wednesday?
him with
That's only 24 hours away, dude, or
Caffeine.
48 hours away.
like just right here. I'll
You
just
could
shove it in
just
his
buy
arm.
him a coffee. I think that would be fine.
No, not good enough.
Heroin.
Well, 5 p.m.'s like morning, so I'll
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6.
Anyway, so maybe we'll see some of you at the live Unlocked this Friday, and for the rest of you, we'll see you next week.
Bye.